Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle once and for all.
Best card game.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it.
You know what?
You're right. We got this.
Best card game, see?
Best game that is cards. That'd be the Damon Runyon way to say it.
Oh,
the
yeah,
game that is
yeah.
cards.
Sure,
that
boss,
I do not
best game that's
understand.
cards.
Card be a game tonight.
Ah. All right, are we ready?
Uh-huh.
Hey, somebody follow the Red Queen. Hey, you, sir, right over there. Step right up, follow the Red Queen.
I think I know this one.
Oh, yeah?
Is it the one on the right?
Well, now you've got me questioning all my choices. I'm just going to pack up and drive away. Yes, it's the one on the right. Here's all my money. Goodbye.
I'm rich.
And that's how 3-card Monty always works. And why you should always play it.
That's right. In that little play you just heard, I was playing The House, who always wins.
That's right. I once stumbled upon a group of Italian dudes doing like a card follow the queen kind of thing. And you think that it's one person, right?
Uh-huh.
You think that it is a one person activity until you walk up there with the phone out that you've been carrying around snapping pictures with. And you start to record a game of 3-card Monty. Then 4 members of the group of spectators standing around suddenly all turn, face you, converge on you and say, put it away, put it away, put it away. That's how you know that 3-card Monty is not a one-person game. All those people that you see standing around winning that make you feel like you could win, yeah, they all work for that guy or with that guy.
When you say group of Italians, do you mean you were in Italy?
I was in Italy, yes.
It wasn't like I walked into a Super Mario convention.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of Super Marios playing 3-card Monty. You were actually in Italy. Like
I was actually in Italy. Yeah.
On break.
Yeah.
Go find
They were, you know how hard it is to move a Red Queen around with a giant gondola paddle?
It's really impressive. I see why you want to film it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just wanting to film it. How was I supposed to know that the gelato guy and 3 organ grinders all also happened to work with this fella?
Including the monkey who turned out to be a person in a monkey suit without the face, just like a human face in a monkey suit going, hey, stop filming.
Hal, this topic delights me to no end.
Yes.
For many reasons, among them that you are a poker player. I think of you as a poker guy. Was it your 30th or your 40th or which birthday was it that you had the big casino birthday?
My 30th. Jennifer put that together.
Jennifer
surprise
threw it for
party.
you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Hal Lublin is famously a cardsmith.
Really? Is that something I'm known for?
Oh,
among
yeah,
you?
I think so. Among me. I'll
Who
put it
else do
this
you
way.
think?
You're a better poker player than I am.
I think I can guess why that is.
Why do you think that is?
I'm guessing that you probably try to bluff every time or to like turn it into a show. Like you're performing every time.
How
that
dare
you play.
you? How dare you, Hal?
I watched you on Jeopardy, sir. I watched you turn a daily double into a moment for your reel. Nobody, and I mean nobody in the history of that show has stared down the barrel and said, should I do it? Come on. You are about your whole life is about creating. Now I'm Italian. I've got my hands.
Yeah,
in the
look at
little
his
pictures and
people of the world. You can't see this. His hands are covering up his whole Zoom screen.
It's covering up. Your whole life is about creating moments.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look, if life were made of, life is made of moments, even now and then a bad one. But if life were only moments, then you'd never know you had one, Hal. But we're not talking about Into the Woods today. We're talking about cards.
Oh, it's from Into the Woods. That was like like a keychain where like the kid, you can see like the crack of their butt. They're so little, their pants don't fit. And there they are on the beach. Like life is full. Like, my kid is on the beach. I'm so proud.
You lost me at, you were singing Sondheim lyrics and now we're up to a crack in a butt.
Well, I'm just saying it's one of those, like that little scant, like Coppertone Baby.
Sure.
Like a Coppertone Baby, like life's full of moments. Oh, my dog ran away with the kite.
Oh, yeah. I feel like
moments.
those life is full of moments that's always what they use on advertisements for cleaning stuff. They're like, just get your stuff dirty with reckless abandon. I'm like, no, thank you. Because then I have to do laundry immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't have to do the laundry immediately. I want to get out of here with your grass stains. I'll be over here on the bench. Ridiculous.
So you want to talk about poker? You just want to start with poker?
Well, here's the thing. As I am wont to do on this show, and you are wont to indulge me, I think there are of the major, we're just talking card games played with an ordinary deck of 52 playing cards. We're not going into Magic the Gathering and Cards Against Humanity and all that. I assume you mean cards, playing cards.
Oh, I mean, well, the ones that I would put in there that fall, I would think of this as like, it's a rainy day.
Yeah.
You're going to play some cards. I think that Magic the Gathering is a card-based game. It's like a deck building game.
Trading card game.
Building. Yeah.
It's a TCG.
Not trading card. It's like a power up. Yeah. It's a TCG. Yeah. This is, the games I would include in here that you cannot play with a standard deck of cards would be Uno, Phase 10, and Skip-Bo. Like cards, and Old Maid has its own deck. Muleborn has its own deck. Those are card games.
But those you can also play with a regular deck. Like you can play Uno. It's called Crazy Eights. You just do it with a deck of cards and the eights are the thing.
But Uno's way better.
All right. So see, well, you can throw in your non-traditional cards as you see fit into these categories. Should they fit into them? I've got 5 categories of card for us today, Hal. And a few of them are going to be binary choices, which should be fun. Okay. Therein. We've got betting games, melding games, fast games, tricks games, and kid games.
Let's start with gambling.
All right, we're going to start
Benjamin Button this.
Great. Well, Benjamin Button, we'll go from the adult games backwards. Yes. And they're really only 2. It's a binary choice, poker or blackjack.
Not, isn't Canasta a gambling game? I guess not.
Canasta would be with the melding games.
Canasta's a melding game. I feel like there is a card game that we are missing here, but Baccarat is a gambling card. It's not going to win.
It's not going to win. It's going to be between poker and blackjack.
I mean, between the 2 of those, I also want to be clear about this.
Do you think there are other gambling card games that could beat those 2?
No, I don't think anything could beat poker. Poker is, particularly Texas Hold'em, I think is the best version of poker. But I also want to be clear because I've thought about this several times while on my runs in the morning. I think about like how we're going to approach this. I know he's going to have categories. Just know the categories will be there, but I don't want to necessarily have it be the winner of each category face off. I think there could be a few in each one that like, oh, this actually has legs.
This is just to break them up into.
You want to digest it.
As is often the case, there will be whole categories that nothing will really be a contender.
Yeah. Texas Hold'em in particular. Is the best version. It's called.
Let me ask you this then. Why do you think that? Why do you and why does the world seem to think that now? I grew up on 5-card draw poker. For me, poker is you get 5 cards, you discard 2 or 3 or 1, and then you get more cards and then you lay them down at the end. You bet twice, once at the very beginning and, once before you get your new round of cards. That's it. That's the version of poker in every old Western. Is it? No.
Because you bet again.
In 5-card draw?
Yes. You bet once.
You go pot. You so ante. Then you get your first round of cards and you bet. Then your second round of cards
and you bet. Yes.
Oh, you're counting if you count the ante.
Yes. Ante bet. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because it's a forced bet.
Right. It's, that to me is, I love that version of poker. Just because, as a kid watching Westerns, that's the one that has the most perfectly edited scene in movie history, which is the final card poker game in Maverick. The final hand of 5-card draw. It's so perfect. Yeah.
Sure. I will tell you why. And that works way better generally for film. 5-card draw does because it's so simple. It's such a simple idea that you can shoot it. You understand. You can follow it really well. The reason why Texas Hold'em is the best poker game there is because there is a level of skill involved in it, both in understanding the odds because there are community cards. Yeah. You all have to play with at least 3 of the 5 cards that are in the center of the board. So that creates opportunities to tell stories, to try and figure out and pick off other people's stories. It forces you to constantly recalculate where your odds are based on what has come out. What is the likelihood of the cards that I need coming out? You have a much better grasp and understanding of that when you're playing Texas Hold'em.
Here's the thing, Hal. You have a much better grasp and understanding of that. I prefer 5-card draw because there is no strategy. It's just, let's just have a fun night of poker. We'll play 5-card draw. Once it gets into Texas Hold'em, which is 7-card stud, right? Is Texas Hold'em basically?
No, it is.
It's not that. What's the difference?
It's a community card game. Stud is a
community card game.
No, stud is everybody gets 2 cards down, 1 card up for themselves. Then over the course of the hand, you get another 3 cards face up. So there are 3 more rounds of face up cards, and then
for each individual
face
person.
Down. So if you don't fold, if you make it all the way through, you have 3 down, 4 up, and you're making the best 5-card hand out of those cards.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no communal cards in that.
Correct.
But regardless, the things that make it more complicated than climactic scene in a movie make it too complicated for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I am not good at poker. Because here's the thing. I go and I'm like, I just want to play some cards. So my brain is thinking I'm going to go in and play 5-card draw, which is how I grew up playing poker. And now everybody's just across the table blankly or glass-eyed staring at each other and wearing sunglasses and trying not to betray anything in their face and trying to pick people off one at it. Like that, it feels like too much of the sales floor in Glengarry Glen Ross.
See, I think
I want it to feel more like an old Western saloon. Now, I don't have that. I guess I don't have the competitiveness that Texas Hold'em seems to require of its better players. I'm generally out first and I'm petting the dog on a poker night.
First of all, that's a win. But second of all, I don't think you got swept up in the poker craze when it started in 2003.
That's true. I did not.
The reason why it started, for those of you who haven't really followed along, a man named Chris Moneymaker, who was an accountant from Tennessee, won like a $39 tournament that eventually got him a $10,000 entry into the World Series of Poker. He went on to win. So this idea that an amateur could come in from out of nowhere and win what had previously been the way you determine sort of the best poker player in the world, who won the World Series of Poker. Those are all the famous names that you know, like Doyle Brunson, Phil Hellmuth. Those guys have won the World Series of Poker multiple times, some of them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it could be anybody. And once it could be anybody, everybody wanted to play. So you learn.
I'll tell you this, it could be anybody of it all really hits home with Chris Moneymaker, because Chris Moneymaker and I went to high school together. So the notion that anybody could win the World Series of Poker, it's like, yeah, dude from my high school won the first one. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. It's just, I appreciate the rags to riches Americana of it all.
Yeah.
And that aspect of it. And I would argue that, maybe something with the best card game should be something with a little more skill than I'd like 2 cards, please.
Yeah. If you like solving puzzles, Texas Hold'em is a great game for you. If you enjoy math and calculating odds, which some people do, I don't. I do a very back of the envelope way of sort of figuring out where I am. I'm not even sure if it's correct most of the time. Then it's a game for you. If you enjoy the theatricality of trying to tell a story, there's a little bit of werewolf in there. There's a little bit of deception and
which I'm also terrible at.
I've gone to live casinos and I've gone, all right, this hand, I'm going to play this hand like I have pocket aces. Everything I do is going to be telling people pocket aces. It almost doesn't matter what 2 cards I have. That's what I'm going to do. Just as an exercise.
That's the kind of stuff that that is so far beyond me. Like the notion of even that far, it just fills me with anxiety.
Oh, but that to me feels
the notion of the puzzle, you're like, if you like solving puzzles, I don't want the other people to be the puzzle that I'm solving. That to me feels scary and intrusive and bad, and I don't like it.
Have you ever played a detective before in something?
Yes, but but in comedy sketches.
But it's the same concept. If you're playing a detective is trying to discover people's people are trying to obfuscate the truth from a detective.
Right.
This detective is trying to cut through it. They're trying.
This
to
feels
figure out
highfalutin for a
story.
card game.
It's really fun if you get into it. And if you don't like it, I completely understand that too. I understand your anxiety. It's a little puzzling to me because I think you would be made to be very good at it because you're a really good actor and you have the ability. Part of that is the ability to understand people. Mm-hmm. And that puts you way ahead of a lot of folks. And you even even the game could be like, I'm going to try to guess what 2 cards they have based on what they're doing. Doesn't matter. You could wear 12 pairs of sunglasses. It doesn't matter. I don't look for
but I don't want to have to make up my own game. I want to play the game that is in front of me by the rules
that is the
game that's in front of me.
That is the game.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's part of it is that, and I've seen this with you before, but I have friends that if we go to Vegas or we go to somewhere where there is a casino, it's like, great, this is going to be fun. And then my friends that play poker are like, cool, I'll see you in 5 hours.
Right.
And then they disappear for the rest of the hang.
Sure.
So poker steals my friends from me when I want to play.
I think it should be a finalist because it's such an exquisite game and it really created a cultural moment. It made poker something that was televised on ESPN regularly.
Yeah.
But not on tape delay. Like they started showing it live and it really was a culture changer, even though the game is not as popular as it was. It still has a lot more people playing it and more people playing it every day.
Yeah.
Because of your high school compatriot.
That's right. Because of Farragut Admiral Chris Moneymaker.
And because
literally, come on. What they call it? An aptonym that his name is Chris Moneymaker.
Yes, that's right. There's a great aptonym. And, the other reason why it blew up is because the game is good. It's a good game. People enjoy playing it. Once you figure it out and get hooked into it, there are so many different ways to approach it. There are guys who are like scary good at reading people. There are other guys that make all their decisions based on math. And if you watch them play, you'd be like, I don't understand. You look like you don't know what you're doing, but everything they do is driven by math. And then they win millions of dollars. It's fascinating.
I think for me, part of it is, and I can respect that. I can respect the like, if I'm playing cards, right? I want the goal of my card playing to be to have a good time with my friends. I don't want the goal of my card playing to be to take everyone else's money or to, beat all the people at the table. I get that. And I get that that's what makes compelling television. But as a person playing a game, it's not as fun to me as just playing a card game. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think it's the winner, and I'll tell you why. A big criteria for me personally, and I'll see if you agree with it, is that it has to be something anybody can play.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly difficult. It is not impossible to learn, but it does have a lot of moving parts and you have to know a lot of stuff. And it's not something that's easy to just pick up and play. Like you have to figure out what's going on and what do I do and look at my cards, and it can take a while. And the learning curve is a little too steep, I think, for it to be the best game, although it is a splendid game, I would say.
Sure. So by that rationale, we're also eliminating the world's most complicated and insular shibboleth of a card game, euchre. Sorry, Michigan and Ohio. Your weird card game has too many complications.
You knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. You knew we were not going to pick euchre. With apologies to the people of the world who are in the Midwest. What about blackjack?
Blackjack is real fun.
Yeah.
It is almost entirely luck. There's almost no skill to it. You just have to know how to not be in the way. My mother went and played blackjack in Atlantic City, and she split tens or something. She did something you're not supposed to do, and everybody at the table yelled at her. She, as the youngest child, did not handle that well.
Yeah.
But she
don't yell at somebody at the table. She's right to not handle that well. Those weren't your cards.
She went to another table by herself and sat with the dealer and had the dealer teach her how to play until she learned. And she got one of those cards. I have it. I'm not sure where. It might be in a keepsake or something, but I've held on to that card just because it was her blackjack card. Now I have it. It might be in my wallet, as a matter of fact. I might have just put it in there. But you're not really playing. If you look at that card, you'll make what is the correct mathematical decision every time.
Yeah.
And it's fun when you're winning and incredibly frustrating when you're not.
Yeah. It's just streaks, I think, which is why it's one of those ones that's so easy to just sit down at a digital version of it and play hands for a quarter for however long. You know what I mean? Until, as I do, I get eventually frustrated and I'm like, this hand's for $1. This hand's for $3. Okay, coming. This hand's for $5. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm almost done. All right, put it all on this hand. Okay, 0. Bye. Okay, I'm coming.
In 2005, the first time I met my future brother-in-law, he and my sister-in-law came out. They had a convention in Vegas. So they came, visited. We saw a show at Second City. Then we drove to Vegas. We drove them there. Jennifer and I drove back because we had to be for Sketch rehearsal on Monday night. We left in like the afternoon. So before we left, my brother-in-law and I were at a blackjack table and the shoe was on fire. Like kept winning to the point where I wanted to stay. But it was like, all right, let's take the money and run. Let's get out of here. One of the few times I left up from a casino because you never do.
If you are up at a casino, do you keep playing while you're up?
Yes.
Yeah. Until you're out. Yeah.
I never go there with the designs of I'm going to be rich. Like you go there with the idea of what if I'm rich, but I'm not disciplined. I'm not disciplined in that way. I'm disciplined in the way that there's only a certain amount I'm going to gamble with. And then I stop and I go, oh, well, that sucks. It's all gone. Or, hey, the last time I went and gambled was somewhat recently in the last 6 to 8 months. I went to a card room, like a local card room to play poker. I sat for 3 hours. I left up $70. Because at the end of 3 hours, I was like, all right, I'm done. This is good. Bye, everybody. See ya.
Hey, not bad. Listen, it's just totally over minimum wage. It's like, that's like $23.33 an hour.
And I had
pretty
fun.
Good.
I had fun. Like I didn't pay for the pleasure of having a good time.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm throwing shade at the complications of Texas Hold'em. That said, I do very much enjoy a poker night of hanging out that is low stakes.
Sure.
I've never sat down at a poker table in Las Vegas before. I've only ever done it like hanging out with buddies, $20 buy-in, winner take all kind of nights.
It can be intimidating.
Yeah. So I don't think blackjack's going through to the finals. No, it's just, just numbers. So out of our betting category, it looks like we do have one going through, and that is poker. That was a big category. Why don't we take a little break and we can knock out the rest of these pretty quick, I think.
Hot.
Ooh. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mark and Hal from We Got This. We just wanted to remind you that any time of year is a good time to join the Max Fun family at $5 a month because you will get a whole library of fun bonus content, including ours.
You'll get years of bonus content where we tell you whether or not you should recline your seat on an airplane. My father joins us to talk about Best Dad Joke and many, many more episodes. And we have a lot of fun stuff that we're constantly dropping on that feed for members, including some very special stuff that will be coming your way very soon. That's a little bit outside of the box of what we normally do. We're really excited about that.
Yeah, and we just finished recording a whole bunch of it today.
That's right. I'm talking into 3 pillows and a blanket with a microphone in front of it. So just please support us by going to MaximumFun.org/join. You can support us and any other Max Fun shows you listen to. You fill out your info. Don't forget to check the box for the shows that you listen to. That's how you make sure that they benefit directly from your membership, which has meant a lot to us over the years. It's helped us travel. It's helped us get new equipment, and it's helped us maintain the quality of the show that we continue to bring you after 10 years.
So if you're already a member, thank you. If you've yet to become a member, visit MaximumFun.org/join. And you know what? Just for listening, we're going to say thank you.
He said it.
Okay, we're back from the break. You just saying hot like that.
Yeah.
We were texting back and forth with the landlord today, and he was like, I need to do this. And does this cord have this thing on it? Just some technical stuff. And Annie sent a yup, YUP, as if to say affirmative. And his response to it was, love your slang. I was like, that is awesome. Just changing an E to a U delights my wonderful, kind, elderly landlord.
Who may be a vampire that was born in the 18th century. Yup. What is this slang?
Yeah. I do not understand this yup. All right. Let's do a quick one. This seems pretty fast. Although, I don't know. Maybe. Let's go to the melding games.
Melding.
Canasta's complicated. and you have to have that little pegboard. I don't have the little pegboard. So we're making this a binary race between rummy and gin rummy.
What about bridge?
No, that's a trick game.
Oh, it's a trick. Oh, cause trick.
Yeah.
Melding is gin. I thought rummy you're sort of building, tricks too.
What you're building are runs of either 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 3 straight flush or 4 straight flush.
You're a run.
You're a run. So basically the difference between the two games, because this is one, I thought I had been playing my entire life. I don't know what the game I've been playing my whole life is. It's a variation. It's a dumbed down version. It's the 5-card draw of rummies, but I've been playing it wrong. I've spent the last 3 days watching internet videos trying to figure out the difference between gin rummy and gin, which by the way, gin, not a game. Gin is just gin rummy. They're just 2 different versions of rummies.
That's right. I used to play Rummy 500 a lot with my grandmother.
Yeah. So is Rummy 500 where you lay them down and then other people can play off of the little groupings, the melds that you make?
Yes. And you get points. I forget how you score points, but the first person to 500 is the winner. So
gotcha. And you score,
rounds.
When you go out, whatever your partner still has in their hand, that's what their points are.
Oh, we had no part. Oh no, that might be gin. That's gin rummy. This is Rummy 500 is not. They're no partners. Yeah. You're all out for yourselves.
Oh no. This isn't partners. I mean your opponent. See, this is the difference, Hal. I call the person I'm playing cards with my partner, and you call the person you're playing cards with your opponent.
Okay, so every card game is an improv game to you.
Yeah. Can I get a suggestion?
Did we win, friend? This card game?
We did win. You know what? Everybody wins. We're all going out to Swenson's. Guess what? We're all going to have orange slices. We're all going to have juice boxes. We're all going to take a nap. That's my prize after a soccer game.
That is true.
Doesn't sound bad, does it? Yeah.
I love it.
So basically it's the difference between gin rummy and rummy is in gin, you hold all of your cards and then the other player gets one chance to play off of your cards at the end. Versus in rummy, you're laying them down the whole time and every turn players can play off of your cards.
Yes.
Do you have a preference in this?
I like rummy. It's fun.
So basically it's gin is you're the only one seeing your cards until the end. Rummy is you are seeing everybody's cards as you're playing. And so you can lay down and add to their melds at any time.
Yeah, it's more fun that way. I like it that way better. I like rummy. Gin.
You do like having a lot of the information. You like being able to see everyone's cards.
It's more fun. It adds even an element in that game of like, what am I going to do? Or will somebody take the card that I need that's on the top of the discard pile and play it? Same with Uno. Like it's more fun when you can see cards.
Yeah.
What's the big secret? What's all the secrets?
What is the game where you can draw a card from somebody, but if it's deep in the deck, you have to like take the whole stack?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many weird
That's some
games.
like weird regional variation on rummy, I think.
It's called like Raven's Handshake. Yeah. If you need a 4 and there are 12 cards left in the deck, you have to eat 2 of them after deep fry them. Tempura style. We call it euchre. We deep fry it and we serve it we're in Illinois, serving it on a horseshoe sandwich. Do you know what a horseshoe sandwich is, by the way, Mark?
A horseshoe sandwich. It's a sandwich. It's when everybody stands around with sandwiches and they throw them at a spike and whichever sandwich lands right on the spike wins, right?
You nailed it. Moving on.
All right. What's a horseshoe sandwich?
A horseshoe sandwich. It is open faced. Mm-hmm. It was originally ham, but now it's like a hamburger patty or your choice of meat. Hamburger patty's most popular. Then on top of that is French fries. And on top of that is cheese sauce. Would you like that sandwich?
No.
Why? It's so
I would like a bite of that sandwich if I was sharing it with like 5 other people.
What is it going on? Everything's not Buca de Beppo, Mark. It's just not.
Why is it called a horseshoe sandwich?
Because originally, when you were trying to eat it, somebody would throw a horseshoe at your head. I mean, isn't it obvious? Why wouldn't it be called a horseshoe sandwich?
I guess, you know what? Early on in that, my brain pictured a horseshoe sandwich being that whole giant kielbasa that's in the grocery store. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you find a giant piece of bread that is shaped like that kielbasa, then that's what a horseshoe sandwich is.
Do you like a cheeseburger?
I do like a cheeseburger.
Do you like French fries with your cheeseburger?
I do, but here's the thing. I don't like a cheeseburger with cheese sauce. What is that? That's not a cheeseburger. That's taking a hamburger and going to a 7-Eleven and ruining a hamburger.
Well, you're not using the thing that like spits. By the way, every single one of those has, they all have an obstruction. Like they're just the filthiest machines, and the chili is the worst. We've talked about this before. There's no doubt I've railed against that machine, which I've then gone back to use. I've used that chili machine at least 3 times in my life, which is 2 times too many. What's next, Mark? You want to take one of these games? Rummy? You want to take Rummy?
I'll take Rummy, and Rummy's a classic of these. All right, let's go to tricks games. That would be hearts, spades, and bridge. Bridge is too complicated for me. Again, if the criteria is anyone can play it, bridge is like trying to decode Edgar Allan Poe's Gold Bug when you look at in the newspaper. Like, why are they putting bridge games in the newspaper? Did you grow up with this?
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand it.
I like
north, south, east, and west are the players.
That section is so weird. They're like, here's Hagar the Horrible. Here's a word jumble. And here's just a hand for you to think about.
Yeah.
You can't play.
What is that?
Just look at it.
I don't understand. People who like every day, they're like, oh, I got to see what's happening in this bridge game in my local newspaper.
Because it's the person who writes it is the person they're playing against. They're not doing like, they have the chess things where like, I'll send you my move via letter. And here's the move. They're doing that person who creates that is only doing it for one other person, but we all have to watch.
Yeah. I don't want to sit and watch this. Yeah. You just do it via pen palness or do it. Yeah. Do your Bridgerton style and quill that, put it in a dove and send it along. I don't need to read it.
That said, I was in a bridge club in high school.
You were?
Yeah.
Really? How was it? Was it part of your school or was it just you and 3 grandmas from the neighborhood after school every day?
It was our school started offering like elective clubs in the afternoon. So I was in the Japanese club, learned a little bit of Japanese.
I really wish that I also went to Applebee's as your friend because this school has so many cool things going on with it.
Well, my friend, we were learning good in the neighborhood. At Bridge Club, you learned how to play bridge. Like I learned how to play contract bridge with a partner and you're doing bids. Yeah. I retained more of the Japanese than the bridge, of which I have recollected none.
I feel like spades, between hearts, spades, and bridge, hearts is interesting because I feel like hearts might be the easiest to figure out and play. Because you don't have to worry about, guessing the number of tricks that you and your partner are going to take, which is a fun element, that adds that, going from easiest to hardest. It seems like hearts, spades, bridge, even though hearts, you can really complicate with some fun strategies for different things that you're trying to do in there.
Right. But I'm surprised.
Like shoot the moon.
I think you shoot the moon in spades as well.
Or is it spades that you shoot the moon?
I think you can do it.
What the main difference between hearts and spades being in one of them, you're trying not to get tricks. And in one of them, you're trying to get tricks. Spades, you want to get the tricks. Hearts, you don't want to get the tricks.
I'm shocked you don't like spades. And here's why I learned.
Oh, no, I like spades
in college. I was going to say it's perfect for you because it's a partner.
I like spades. I'm saying bridge was the one that that seems too complicated for me. Spades, I like. Mm-hmm. I think I like spades better than hearts, actually. Because there is that extra element, though, does that ding it for its lack of simplicity?
I think all of the hearts is maybe a little simpler.
Yeah.
I do enjoy them both. Also, here's the other thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you agree about this, but I think the best card game is for 2 or more players and neither of those. I think hearts, I think you need 4 for both.
You need 4. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. I like 2 to a bunch of people. Like poker, you can play heads up. You can play with up to 10 people, I think, 8 to 10.
Yeah.
At a full table.
You know what? There is a category, you mentioning this, there was a 6th category that I forgot about that I'm going to throw in right now. And I think we might find our victor Our Victor could be a dark horse coming out of this category.
Ooh.
And this is another, I think, let's say it's a three-way race.
Okay.
And that is party cards.
Party cards? Tell me.
One of these is a bluffing game and two of these are straight up drinking games. I will use the letters for the dirty named ones and not the actual names of the games, but they are King's Cup, which is a straight up drinking game. It's just you draw a card and you do whatever that card tells you to do. Like, I don't even remember what they all are, but it's like a jack, you pass a drink to the left. A queen, you take a drink. A king, everybody drinks. It's just everybody takes turns taking one card. Zero skill, just designed to get you drunk, not going to win.
Can I ask you a question before you go any further?
Yeah.
When you play a game like that, I assume this is very popular, like college age in particular.
Oh, yeah. This is like 19, anywhere between 19 and can legally go to bars.
Do you feel, is it true that at that age, when you're drinking, playing one of these games is like an excuse to get blackout drunk? Cause you're like, I'm just playing a game. I might not get drunk at all, but you know you're going to wake up like 2 weeks later with a different social security number.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's not exactly how drinking works.
Well,
you might be doing the ABC After School special version of how drinking works, but yeah, it's just to do that.
You know, what's a shock to me is that I don't even enjoy the concept of drinking, but if I have to have a bunch of dental work done. They're 100%. I spoke to the anesthesiologist today. I'm doing sedation dentistry because I am a huge dental chicken. And the doctor was like, are you concerned about being out? I'm like, the best sleep I ever had was when I had a colonoscopy. And he was like, I'm going to see if you're a good candidate. I said, if I'm not, I want you to show up and hit me on the head with an anvil. I don't want to be awake for this at all. He's like, we're going to have to, like, I want to intubate you just to make sure you're good and all this stuff. I was like, sweetie, I'm going to be asleep. I'm like Magic Johnson when he quit the Lakers. I'm not going to be here. You do whatever you need to do.
And then your dentist said, Hal, you can't call me sweetie. I am your dentist.
Yeah.
Did he chuck your chin?
He just thought about it.
Cheer up, buckaroo.
And then he was like, I don't want to encourage him. Too collegial. Do you want to talk about the other drinking? The other one is you look at a card and then you drink.
The other one is A-Hole. Which is another drinking game.
Yes, I know that.
But I think the one for me out of this that is so much fun is BS. I love this game. It's a fun bluffing game because it's a fast, low stakes bluffing game. If you get caught in a bluff, all you're taking is a little stack of cards. You're not losing potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. This game is, of course, where I say, here are 2 2s, and Hal says, here are 2 3s, and I say, here are 2 4s, even though one of us is probably lying at some point in there. I love this game. It's the simplest of bluffing games. You can play with 2 people. You can play it with, I guess you can't really play it with 2 people.
Yeah. You're trying to get rid of all your cards.
You're trying to get rid of all your cards. Yeah.
Yes.
3 or more people, and it is delightful, silly, fast-paced fun.
It is also one of those games that you learn when you're like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in like the 10 to 14 range, where saying the name of it is like exciting. Like, some weird underground game you just got turned on to, and doing it at a party, even if there's no drink. And obviously you can add drinking later on. But even at a young age, just knowing it has a naughty name and trying to bluff people, there is a lot of fun to that. That is just a good time. It's nothing but a good time.
It's just pure fun.
Not the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I love BS. Would you say not the best?
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's fun. It's a good time.
How do you know it's not the best?
Because we've already named other games that are better than it.
Have we?
Yes.
I don't know that that's true. We'll get a chance to eliminate at the end.
You are not putting that in the finals, sir.
Yeah, I'm putting BS absolutely putting BS in the finals.
I call BS on that.
All right. You know what? Here's 3 9s.
Okay. You can go through.
Okay. All right. Let's go to fast games. Here's some fast games. This will be a 3-way race. I'll begin with S's because why not let our games all be alliterative? Spoons, speed, and slapjack, baby.
Yeah, slapjack.
Slapjack is the first card game I ever learned It's so delightfully dumb. It's everybody flips cards over until a jack lands. And when a jack lands, boom, be the first one to slap it. That's why I learned this card game when I was like 3, and it still delights me.
Also, the polar opposite of BS, in which your goal is to acquire all of the cards. Because when you slap the cards, you get all of them.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be the last one holding
and you want to go fast. You want to do like hot potato.
Yeah.
You want to do like musical chairs at the end when you're moving real fast because you got to get to the chair. So there is a ticking clock to it. It's really fun.
Speaking of musical chairs, that is one argument in favor of spoons, because none of the rest of these have additional props that you need. We dinged cribbage for it earlier for needing the little pegboard.
Yeah.
I would put spoons as an outlier in this one because it's pretty easy to get your hands on 3 spoons, or however, 1 spoon fewer than everyone in the group.
I got to be honest. I don't know this game.
So the way spoons works is it's basically speed plus musical chairs. You play a speed card game. There are variations. There are different rules, but it's get rid of all your cards by dropping them in chronological order.
Okay. Chronological order, like this one was born in February. Drop.
Yes. Exactly. I received this card first. I received this card after that one. Then I received this card. You're just doing them all in order. No, in a chronological numerical order going up. And the first person to get rid. So in speed, the first person that gets rid of all their cards is the winner of the round. In spoons, the first person that gets rid of all their cards grabs one of the spoons. And then regardless of where in the game everyone else is, everybody else playing has to grab a spoon, and then whoever is left out gets a letter, like you're playing horse, but you're not playing horse, you're playing spoons. So you get an S.
I'm sorry.
There are 3 different games in one, Hal. It's horse, it's musical chairs, and it's speed. It's a perfect card game.
You couldn't possibly play Texas Hold'em because it's way too complex. But instead, you want to go to bat for a card game where you grab spoons. And then if you don't grab a spoon, you play the card game, then people are grabbing spoons, people are getting letters.
I want my anxiety to be based on, am I going to get a spoon? Not, I wonder what that person with the beard and the ponytail sitting across from me thinks I think he thinks I think right now.
On the Bill Lublin Index, you would get about 5 seconds of that game. Here's the Bill Lublin Index.
What's the Bill Lublin Index?
If you ask Bill Lublin to play a game, and he'll sit and play. Immediately, he's like, all right, so what are we doing? Like, he wants to go, he's ready to go. And if he's tired, he wants to go to sleep. And how deep into the game will you get until he's like, all right, I'm done. 5 seconds you get with that. As soon as you show the spoons, as soon as you show the spoons, he's on his undiagnosed attention deficit disorder. He is across the room.
You know what then, Hal? Here's what I say to Bill Lublin. Oh, you've got undiagnosed ADHD. Guess what? Then we'll add some more stuff. We'll give you more shiny objects.
No.
I want my versions of spoons to have a Wheel of Fortune wheel and a Jeopardy board and a Plinko. This is what I want spoons to be. I want spoons to look like the set of Let's Make a Deal and the set of The Price is Right merged together with the Double Dare set and created a super group like the Traveling Wilburys. That's what I want.
He didn't hear you. He's looking at his phone. Not going to win. I'm sorry for spoons. I would take Slapjack out of these because it's the most fun and physical. I've seen people slapping with their feet, just getting involved, like just people. And it is as fun to watch as it is. It's more fun to watch than that dumb quote unquote sport where people slap each other in the face.
Slap fighting. That is bonkers.
That is
the fact that they do slap
terrible.
fighting there's like some new movie that's coming out that has slap fighting in it. That's
called
ridiculous.
Slaps with a Z. Chills. Anyway.
Oh, Chills. Oh, that bit was really fun.
That's inside for you, me, and Ben Acker and nobody
that's
else.
Right. All right. Our last category is kid games. I got 3 kid games up in here. The 3 biggest classic kid games, I would argue. Go Fish, Crazy Eights, which is Uno, but with a deck of cards, and War. War, I argue, is absolute 0% skill. The game is predetermined by the time the deal happens. It's like playing Candyland.
Yeah.
So it's not War.
Yeah. I like Go Fish. I like Go Fish.
Go Fish is a classic. Go Fish is a lot of fun.
So good. So much
Easy to
fun.
learn when you're a little kid. Go Fish is the one that I feel like a little kid can play with a grandparent. You know, we used to play that one. There was a time when at Universal, they moved the New York street from the windows down to the street level. And one thing that you could always do with park guests from around the world is play a game of Go Fish.
Right. Everybody knows it. I mean,
That's
that
real
it is a very strong contender.
Yeah.
I also want to add a category to this.
Okay.
And that is specialty deck games. And there are only a few, not stuff like
This was,
Magic
you
the
mentioned
Gathering.
earlier, like, Uno, not Stratego, Uno, Skip-Bo. Skip-Bo's pretty fun.
Skip-Bo's really, really fun.
Yeah.
Love Skip-Bo, which is sort of like
Four
a
Kings.
version. It's a version of Spite and Malice. It's sort of like a double Klondike. It's sort of like that kind of game. It's real fun. Uno's got to be a finalist. I would put Uno straight through to the finals because Crazy Eights is fun. Uno is insane and it's really enjoyable. And there's a little more, not like strategy. There is some strategy to it. And at a certain point in a game of Uno, it shifts from everybody to themselves to like, if you have 4 people, 3 of them are trying to stop the 4th one from winning. And that balance of power shifts. If you have cards, then somebody else becomes the target.
Yeah. That game is really fun for being like, once somebody yells, like, and it's built into the game that somebody goes, I'm close to winning. As soon as you say Uno, everyone turns on you.
Yes.
It is a delightful game. It's not played with a standard deck of cards.
No, it's a specialty deck.
Crazy Eights is.
Right.
But yeah, I think in this particular case, we have to make the exception for Uno because it has the reverses and skips. And if you're trying to do that with Crazy Eights, you got to remember a bunch of
draw 2, draw 4
stuff. Yeah.
Reverse. Also,
yeah. When you get the blank Uno cards, I think this was actually a micro question from our Facebook group. When you get your own cards to write, do you stick within the parameters of the game or do you write like crazy stuff, like draw 10?
I was not aware that they made decks with a blank card where you write something in.
Yeah. I treat them like blank cards in there, like they're Cards Against Humanity cards. So guess what? I just played fart on you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's
Queen Elizabeth's worst fart.
You just want people to perform for you. Now you will do a fart for me. Come on, Queen Elizabeth. Fart for me. Fart on your corgis.
Who do you think I am? Lepetamine? Look up Lepetamine. If you don't know who Lepetamine is, you're welcome.
And the modern Lepetamine, Mr. Methane out of the UK.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Like a superhero. The other one is Phase 10. Phase 10 is a wild game. There are a lot of moving parts to it, but not really. It has a little bit of like Rummy or Gin where you have like points for the cards you have left. You're acquiring points, which you don't want. But the other part of it is, have you played Phase 10 before?
I've never played Phase 10. No.
The way Phase 10, you have to complete 10 phases. Each hand you're trying to complete. So everybody, the first hand is trying to complete Phase 1 and everybody could complete it. The first person to go out, all the other people have points based on what's left in their hand, right? That's how it works. Now let's say we're playing, you, me, and Ken are playing, and you and Ken complete Phase 1. I do not by the end of the hand. The next round we play, you're both trying to complete Phase 2. I'm still stuck on Phase 1. So you have to get through all 10 phases before everybody else. If more than one person does it, then it's whoever has the least number of points wins. And it's really fun.
That sounds fun. Can I play Uno now?
No. You must play. You will play all 10 phases, Mark. I've changed.
I do like, as described, I like the idea that somebody can play this game and get so far behind the rest of the game that they're not even playing the same round. Like, if you could be doing so poorly at a card, like that's the equivalent of me going to a poker night and 3 hours into the poker night, I'm still on the first hand.
It is kind of like that. But the other thing is the phases get more difficult as you go further down. So you have a chance to catch up. Like it might be first is like 2 sets of 3 because it's just cards numbered 1 through I think 12. So one of them might be like the next one is like a run of 4 and a set of 3.
Yeah.
And then it becomes the easiest one is like somewhere in the middle is like 7 of the same color. And so you have a discard pot. You're playing discards at the same time. Once you've laid down once you've completed your phase, you can play off of other people on the table. So it's another way to get rid of cards.
I'm excited really to try this game. Does it beat Uno and Go Fish coming out of this category?
I mean, I don't think Go Fish beats Uno.
You don't think Go Fish beats Uno?
No.
I think Go Fish just because you can play it with a regular deck of cards.
Wait, doesn't Uno require more than 2 people? Or can you play with just 2 people?
You can play with just 2 people.
Are you allowed to? What does it say on the box? Are you making your own rules? Is this like your Uno card? You write, I can play Uno?
Mm-hmm.
If you put a pen in your mouth, you can put it down on your desk and still talk to me while you're typing.
No, I can't. I gotta put a pen in my mouth. I want to look busy.
You know, at Applebee Friends, you would never be allowed to have a pen in your mouth because they don't want you to have ink poisoning.
Oh. Let's see. I'm just looking at the box of Uno cards and the picture in the corner. It says 2 to 10.
Okay, good. Okay, you can play the 2. I just wanted to make sure it qualified. Yeah. I didn't want us to, because it's got legs, got a chance to win. So I don't.
Uno's got a chance, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't want it to win when we had established early on that it had to be a 2-player game, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. I would put Phase 10 through as well. Anybody who has played it knows how much fun it is.
I'll put it through. Okay, so then here are our finalists. We can eliminate them one by one. We'll do it old school. We got, I'll keep Go Fish in there. Phase 10, Uno, Go Fish, Slapjack, BS, Spades, Rummy, and Poker. Who are you eliminating first, Hal? Once we get down to what, 2? Well, then we'll decide. I haven't done any counting.
Poker, because it's too complex. It's specifically Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
Because it's the best poker game.
All right.
We don't even have to do that episode. I've done it for you, asked and answered. Nobody has to ask about it.
I will eliminate just because I don't know it at all. Sorry, Phase 10. Get more on my radar and maybe you can win next time.
I'm going to make you play Phase 10.
I'm excited to. Go Fish, Uno, Slapjack, BS, Rummy, Spades.
I'm going to get rid of BS because it's not really a game. It's like fun. It's fun, but it's not something you pick up and play all the time. Yeah. And there are better versions of it out there that are more specialty games, like more in the gaming space. There are better versions of it.
I hate to do this to 5-year-old me, but I've got to eliminate Slapjack. Yeah. Because it did lead to a lot of mom
because you get slapped in the face or on the hand.
Yeah. You get slapped in the hand. And then if your big brother slaps you on the hand too hard, then you want to slap him or your sister wants to slap you or everybody wants to slap each other. And then the parents get yelled for. So it's Go Fish, Uno, Spades, and Rummy.
I would eliminate Spades because it is the most complex of the 4 games left.
Yeah.
I think I need something a little more all ages, a little closer to all ages.
Then with that in mind, I will also eliminate Rummy and we will have a binary choice of the most all ages of games. The 2 really great contenders on this list from Go Fish and Uno. One of them uses a standard deck. One of them uses its own deck. Mm-hmm. Both easy to play. Both have their frustrating moments. It's tough for me because I think I personally like Uno better, but the requirement of having its own specialized deck is a demerit to Uno for me. What do you think? Do you think it's enough of a demerit?
Well, here's the other thing. For Go Fish, it's a very simple game. Super, super simple.
Mm-hmm.
There's practically no strategy to it, which is why it's one of the first games you learn. Like you're sort of learning, picking up cards, trading cards. You're taking the first steps towards your next game. But when you reach Uno, Uno is fun the first time you learn it and for the rest of your life. If you and I were bringing a card game with us on a trip to play on the train that we're taking, because you know how we're train enthusiasts and we travel across the country by train.
Of course.
And we're like, let's bring a card deck to play a game. I would be fine with that deck being Uno. I don't think we would play. I think if we played Go Fish, it would be as a lark.
Hal, I'm going to tell you, you brought up something that puts Uno over in my mind. You mentioned going on a trip and taking it with you.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, I went on a trip to Guatemala
Brag.
We went to build a school as part of Build On.
Third brag.
Lots of brags. I'm about to go do it again in Senegal. I'll put a link to help us raise money on the thing. 5. Also, I'm deeply awesome.
Not a brag. Truth. Go ahead.
Oh, pumpkin. And we took 2 things with us that are universally easy to teach and kids go nuts for regardless of what language they speak. And
Surfboard.
That is Jenga and Uno.
Okay. Jenga and Uno. Yes. Not surfboard. That's hard.
Not surfboard. Yeah.
Forgot.
No, especially in the mountainous parts of Guatemala.
I mean, it's way easier. You won't fall in the water.
Uno was one of those things that can transcend borders. Look, it's regardless of where you're from in the world, you and your buddies love to gang up on that one buddy that just said Uno. It is the international game, if ever there was one, and it's a delight for all. And that is why, Hal, bring us home.
People of the world, you can draw as many card games as you want, but let me reverse this on you and ask you what you think the card game is that you've had the most fun with a large group of people of varying ages. And, you know what? I'm going to skip you real quick and I'm going to take this one myself and say, at the risk of being a little too wild, Uno is the best card game asked and answered. Thanks, me, for suggesting this, but I bet a bunch of you have suggested it and we just missed it. So thank you, everybody who's been wondering this.
Yes, and this topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or
you can reach us on all the social media at We Got This Podcast, except and especially on Instagram. We are at We Got This Show. By the way, episode 500 is coming up soon. 500 episodes of this show we have done in almost 10 years. This is a great time to not only celebrate the show that you enjoy, but to maybe share it with people. Anybody you can recommend it to. We're looking to get more wonderful people like you who listen to this because we love all of you so much. We want more of you. We want to find everybody like you in this world and expose them to the fun and easy conversations that we have over on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. We appreciate everything that you've done. We don't get to 500 episodes without you. We also don't get there without giving special thanks to our producer, Ken Plume, who has been here since before episode 1. I feel like I'm doing thank yous now that I will repeat
for
later.
The 500.
Yes. Also, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kilman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world. You know, earlier I confused an opponent with a partner. But with you, people of the world, it is something that we will never confuse. You are always our partners. You're the reason we do this. To you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows supported
directly
by you.